of the test between England and India. It's the first of 5 tests, as we know. Amazing conditions here in Leeds, which is obviously West Yorkshire. India, of course, are batting after England won the toss. Ben Stokes won the toss and elected to bowl first, which looked like a bad decision up until about 5 minutes before the close of play of the first, well, at least close of the first break at lunch, and it looked as though England had made a mistake. But you'd have to argue that it may have turned out to be not too bad. They've taken 2 very late wickets. Obviously, they've taken the wickets of KL Rahul was looking fantastic on 42. Couldn't help himself. Ben Carse was basically, in my opinion, probably not bowling that well. Bowled a very wide one, and Rahul couldn't help himself and got nicked it to first slip to Brood for 42, which brought young Sai into bat for his first ever test innings. Great raps on the young bloke, but they worked him out pretty quickly and gave him a nice old set of leg side deliveries. And he's clipped one to the keeper, Smith, and is out 4th ball. So basically, lunch on day 1. England have fortunately they've gone to 92, but they're 2 down when they were at one stage no wickets down. And these sort of situations can turn so quickly in England. This is what the beauty of this test is, to see such a beginning turn so quickly. It looked like it was going to be India's day, well and truly. Both Jaswal and obviously KL looked they were going to go on and score very big scores, both of them. They both, one's out for 42, one's not out 42. So a very, it's almost a balanced first session that changed so quickly in a matter of a few deliveries, with India now 2 for 92 after 25.4 overs. I do have some concerns about the team selections. India looks on paper a little bit underdone, but that's okay considering it's a so-called new era. But England, for heaven's sake, their bowling attack I thought was pretty light on when it came into the system. Wokes is a very experienced bowler. Ben Stokes, of course, very experienced. But Tongue and Carse, to me, I don't think they're necessarily world beaters on their own, and they haven't used a spinner yet, so they really looked a bit light on with the bowling department. When you have lost the likes of Broad, Anderson, you haven't got Jofra Archer there, or Mark Wood, a whole host of other bowlers of late for England that have been doing very, very well. Carse, I thought more of a one-day bowler anyway. Tongue has had moments where he's been good. Stokes, when not injured, is certainly good. But hi everyone, it's decent bowling given the boundary and every well. Look, when you got cricket pitches from one side of the field to the other, inevitably the ball's going to race to the boundary in such a rather dramatic way. But Sai Sudhasan's been given a chance out 4th ball. Not the start that he would like. I look at the squad of England, and to me, I don't know the full story behind Wood and Jofra Archer and some of the bowlers which they do have at their disposal, England, especially at home. But seeing Broad in the commentary, I almost wanted to put his pads on, or his gloves on, or his whites on at the very least, and have him out there playing. Now he's commentating at the moment there, and I was feeling a bit concerned about this. So as we saw, Sai Sudhasan got his berth. Hello, Paul Newman. How are you? I'm going to try and be Munchie. Hello, Wood out for the summer. Okay, well that's still a loss, isn't it? But Munchie, there are many other bowlers that we know of that are in the England lineup. What's wrong with Jofra Archer? Can you tell me what the story is with him? Okay, the reality is that it's going to be amazing, this tour, this particular series. It's 5 tests. It's not 1, 2, 3. It's 5. Lots of ebbs and flows. It may well favour England over time if India start to get the wobbles. Karun Nair is out and out a player that we know can score runs against England, having scored a triple century, and then gone into the wilderness for a very long time. To me, it just seems to me that that's a bizarre selection. Not that I'm against him being selected, but not having played for so long, why haven't they utilised him earlier? Anyway, it's sad to see a test series where you haven't got Wood and Jofra Archer with Broad Anderson bowling. It's sad to see a series where you haven't got Virat Kohli, Robert Sharma, Ashwin in the squad. Jadeja will be significant, I must say. Coming back from injury, you might see Jofra later on. Well, now, Munchie, when is later on? Lots of similar swingers could have been picked. Yeah, Munchie, I can think of about half a dozen other bowlers. Cass did get the wicket. Good on him. It was a very wide delivery, though. I'm just watching Red Bull having a little bit of a go with KL Rahul and Ben Stokes on this, it looks like a lake. Good on them. I love Red Bull. They always bring a lot of encouragement to cricket. It's strange to see India without Kohli. It is. I'm finding this a bit. Maybe I'm getting too old, but I just wish Virat Kohli was still there. I still think he had plenty to offer. He scored 9,000 Test runs. He could have played 4 or 5 seasons more. I respect his wishes, but he's probably made enough money. Who knows? And with RCB winning now, he's probably achieved everything he wanted to achieve in cricket. But I don't know. I love to think is Bumrah playing? Yes, Bumrah is in the side. Bumrah's certainly there, and he could be pivotal. Bumrah could really put the cat amongst the pigeons in this particular game. Now, yeah. So initially, they were saying here that Jaswal and Rahul were dominating. Well, they did up until that last over or so when England have just twisted a little bit of a bolt there and have just taken a wicket there, got young Sai out for a duck. That's going to be a bit of a blow, and got a man out that is Rahul. Looked like he's in form. I already said hot takes boxing. Yeah, definitely Bumrah is playing. Very much Bumrah's playing. Do you know Jack Della Madelblanc? No, I don't. Green pitch, but helpful enough for batting. Well, is it a green pitch? There's a bit of swing, surprisingly, from some of these cast bowlers with a bit of swing. He's no more of a pitch bowl, like a hit the seam bowler. Ben Stokes looks good, I must say, looks fitter, and that'll be a major advantage for England. They're kind of one bowler short, aren't they? I mean, their batting lineup, is strong, very strong actually, with Duckett and Crawley and Pope, obviously, Root, Brook, then you got Stokes there. A lot of depth in there, and Smith who can bat as well. That's 7 there. But then they've got the bowlers Tung, Cass, Bashir, is it? And who's the other one? They got one more. Yeah, Tung, Cass, of course, Wokes who can also bat. So they're probably one bowler too short, in my opinion. So that could hurt them. But they're bowling first, I should say. India will bat second and fourth, which to me, well, Jeffrey Boycott's made it very clear that the actual wicket over the time on this ground gets better batting average-wise. It reaches 40 on day 5 after being in the 20s on day 1. So peculiar that the batting pitch gets better as time goes along. A quirk that we'll see more of. So, yeah, Nasser saying there is with Rahul Dravid in what appears to be a desert, and they're playing a bit of cricket on what looks like a moving Red Bull van with a cricket pitch. I'm not sure exactly where they are. It looks almost like an Australian countryside rather than an English countryside. Wonder how England will handle Bumrah, Norman. Paul, I agree. How England, I think they're going to have a little bit of difficulty with him because, look, he's a sensational player. Just like Rabada in the World Test Championship took 9 wickets, Bumrah could be the heavy hand of the wicket taking for India. I mean, they've got Siraj, who's very reliable as well. They've got the wily Jadeja. Shardul Thakur, I applaud that selection. They could have picked Reddy, who's also a very good batter. But Shardul Thakur, I like him because he seems to have that both of them spark. He can bat well, he can bowl well. He takes wickets, he changes matches when it's necessary. So good selection. Well, England team, who can spin bowl in the current lineup if they want to bowl or spin in the test? Well, there's this young spinner there, Bashir is his name. I keep forgetting his name. What's his name? He's there, but you have to bat. Let's look at the I mean, we haven't got a spinner there. They got Bashir, but yeah, should Shardul is the saviour. It could well be the saviour. It could well be the saviour. I'd argue that Shardul could well be the saviour. Now I'm going to try and get on more regularly. You've got your Dave Gravenys, your Adam Hollyoaks, your Chris Vernons, your Richard Vernons, and hopefully Monty. There's quite a few people going to come on later. I'm not relying on any of the other. There's one other journalist company which leaves a lot to be desired. I can't see them being part of this, so pretty pedestrian anyway. We won't go into that particular entity. So, wonder how England will handle. I mentioned that before. I like the way Rahul batted, but he's always been a fantastic batter. Rahul, he's always been sensational. Always looked on top of things. Munchie's a little grass, but will get flatter. Well, it seems to be by way of boycotts discussions and Homer Bairstow as well. It seems to be typical of this pitch over the last period of years, which last 5 or 10 years it's changed. Prediction in the West Indies series, Norman. Okay. I'm very, 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 very happy that they've dumped Labuschagne. I've bloody well talked about Labuschagne enough, how annoyed I've been with his batting and his overall team temperament that brought them down. The World Test Championship was a classic example. Yet again, he was very lethargic. Got a dozen or so he scratched around where they've dumped him. And I hope they've dropped him for a long period. I hope they've dropped him for more than the West Indies series. I hope they've dropped him for the Ashes as well. But that's a big change with Josh Inglis. Should be number 3. With, of course, give Sam Constance a go, the future, unlike a Jaswal, and Khawaja's there for a while. But my belief is that we'll probably, I hope to see Josh Inglis and Constance become the regular openers once Khawaja decides to leave the team, and that'll be when he's ready. Green, first drop, not sure. Smith's got a fair way to go. He's still a great batter. Travis Head, reluctantly I didn't like him, now I do. But I think the man that I want to see in this Australian side is the Australian under-19 captain from the past, Jason Sangha. I like to see him bat at 3. I think with both Constance and Josh Inglis opening the batting and Sangha at 3, with Green maybe at 4, Head, Webster and the like, that's a long-term batting solution once the likes of Smith and Khawaja go as well. And Labuschagne, I'm sorry, his mentality, his attitude, his batting style, I think his days are over. That's my things, hope. And finally, either I've been listened to or my nagging got to them because they finally got rid of him. I'm sorry, he's been a thorn in my side for some time, Labuschagne. He might have scored some runs, but he's had a horrific attitudinal change. And he's batting, he's scratching around and he just really thwarts the innings. You need a number 3 that takes the game into his own hands. Jason Sangha, who did well in the Sheffield Shield for South Australia. They won the Sheffield Shield. I think, in fact, he scored the winning runs, if I'm not wrong. To me, Jason Sangha is the future, and captaincy-wise as well. There you go. I've said it time and time again. Labuschagne should be out for a while, I hope. I hope so too, Paul. I can't see him playing for some time. I can't imagine that he's out for the West Indies series. He's been dropped. Now, is he still in the squad? I guess he's still in the squad. I'm thinking he was in the squad. My hope is that they don't bring Nathan McSweeney back in quickly either. He was a bit scratchy. He's had his opportunity. Having given Constance a proper go with Khawaja and then ultimately Josh Inglis. Josh Inglis is an absolute find. Deserving his position for some time now. Sam Constance will do well. If he's given a chance, Paul, let him be in there for a total series. Why didn't I don't know I don't know what happened there. They actually probably held on to the bowling line a little bit too long. So, well, you can't take away from Cummins' performance. You can't take away from Hazelwood and Stark. They all bowled well. In fact, they batted well too. Lyon was particularly ordinary. I'm sorry, but when it really came to the crunch, they needed a new bowling. May have been the solution, but their batting was particularly weak. Labuschagne was at the forefront of the weakness. Yes, Khawaja didn't get runs, but I'm not blaming him. Cameron Green batting at 3 was madness, absolute madness. Labuschagne opening was absolute madness. So they had Constance and Josh Inglis, they would have probably won, they would have got more runs. I'm sorry. Those guys have become, to me, at the forefront of Australian cricket matches. Stay there. What's Munchie? Bring him back for the Ashes, please. Who do you want brought back from the Ashes? Labuschagne? Why? Yeah, you want him to be brought back, Munchie, because you want him so England can have a bunny in these trials. So that's what you're trying to say, cheeky bugger. And Paul Newman was right, no, Munchie. Labuschagne should go. Why would you want him? As a Brit, yes, please, Paul. Munchie, don't be sarcastic. pick properly. Don't pick for the sake of your benefit. Aussies missed Cam Green bowling. Agree. You got Bo Webster on the side. Do you need Cam Green and Bo Webster in the same team line? No, you don't. They're both playing the same role of an all-rounder. Cam Green now is all of a sudden batsman, batted well in England. Did he? Well, he got 2 ducks out on the 3rd or 4th ball in both innings. In this crucial World Test Championship match when batters stand up, as did Aiden Markram. Look, South Africa, they won. I can't, credit's there for what's due. They deserve to win. They batted well on the 4th innings. Credit to South Africa. But they're carrying on like pork chops now, like they're world champions forever. I don't think that's a bit of an exaggeration. The fact is they didn't play that well. They were allowed to play well by the conditions. Good on them, they won. But Bavuma is not what I would call world class. I'm sorry. Gutsy. Anyway, South Africa won. I'm not going to begrudge that, but I think that Australia should not have lost that. They really should. They should have not lost. They were ahead by 70 odd runs in the first innings, and they got out very poorly. The Rabada bowled well. There was no resistance from Australia at all. They had the match in their hands up until the 3rd innings. And of course, 285 should have been enough, but with 2+ days of batting, of course, with the conditions there of batting, they won. And good on South Africa. I'm not taking away from them, but Australia had no batting practice before. They had no true match practice. It was a one-off. Yeah, some are arguing there should be three matches for the championship final. I don't think so. Australia just blew it. They mucked it up. But deservedly, they woke up themselves and realised that Labuschagne was relied upon too much, batted badly for some time now, a good 2.5 years of bad batting, and the most crucial match, stuffed around with 17 or whatever he got. Okay, caught a few catches. So what? There's plenty of other blokes who can do that. Boas is playing good. How long Uzi got? Oh, don't knock Uzi. Uzi's double century in Sri Lanka not long ago. Let's be careful. The brilliant test for watching quality seam bowling. Yes, Munchie, it was. Rabada bowled well. Bat Cummins bowled well. Jansen bowled well. Nagiti came back and bowled well in the end. King Kohli, yeah. I miss him. I miss him dearly. I miss Ashwin and his spark. I don't know what's happened there. I mean, look, at least he's going to make a lot of money from all avenues. And Kohli thought, well, I've had enough. Leave on the top. Well, one series too early, maybe. Do you think if Lyon has a poor series in the West Indies, he could get a tap on the shoulder? Paul, hopefully Lyon picks his own moment. He's been a champion bowler for Australia. He got 553 wickets, but his World Test Championship effort was left a lot to be desired, even though the wicket didn't favour him. And he better bowl well on West Indies. If he doesn't, he might get a tap. Although he may see the England series as his swan song. But I think that Lyon wants to bowl on forever. He's had a great longevity, taken 553 wickets. He's number 7 in the overall bowling list. That's good enough. If he's not playing well, he's best not fizzling out and being dropped. That would be a sad end of his efforts. Hopefully, they'll probably give him the opportunity to finish the Ashes series, I would imagine. And then that may be his swan song. And that's his turn. Australia is winning the Ashes. Well, it is. But we're back in the middle of a test match here. And what are we watching here? We're looking at India's batting. And let's be honest, Rahul looked good. Jaiswal looked particularly good. They look like they were invincible there. They look like they're going to pass 100 without losing a wicket. And then just when it counted most, and that's what happens in test matches. Not like the World Test Championship. Australia on top, and it just fell apart. Here, India are well on top, but 2 wickets late. Rahul in full flight. And then, of course, Sai without getting an opportunity to start. Now comes Shubman Gill as the Indian captain, batting number 4, where Virat Kohli, where Tendulkar all played. Big shoes to fill. Why I keep mentioning Jason Sanger's name? Because he is an equal to Shubman Gill. Both under 19 cricketers at the same time. Had a great battle there. They've got Gill. We haven't got Jason Sanger. Bring Jason Sanger into play for Australia this season. Why? I think he should be in the Ashes squad because if he plays well in Sheffield Shield, he's just won a Sheffield Shield final for South Australia. Australia should mark my words, he should be in there, well and truly. And some of the other channels seem to bring in all these guests and a lot of Neville nobodies and some of these other journalist programs. Bring in young kids, okay, give them a go, but pretty poor, pretty inadequate, pretty without experience. What's my prediction for this England versus India series? It's so raw because both teams, well, the England team are under-bowled, in my opinion. This bowling attack won't win them the comp, win them the series. Size just failed. Gill's captaincy is the one that has to lead by getting runs. They've been very clear. Him getting runs is his best form of captaincy. I'm going to lean for England because of the presence of Ben Stokes and the experience of the England batting lineup with Brook now, of course, and Root, magnificent player that he is. Duncan and Crawley up the top of the order with Pope. Their batting lineup is very, very strong. If Bumrah's there, he'll hurt them, but he was not playing 5 tests. It's almost already been announced. He may be only bowling 3 of the 5 tests, so England will probably win the series, especially the matches where Bumrah's not there and where there's depth of batting lineup. Very, very strong. England batting lineup, very strong. Bowler, they need a few more bowlers, but we'll just mention Mark Wood's out. Jofra Archer's due back soon. Archer could be the difference. Okay. But I'm saying England at this stage, 3-2. Duckett is dangerous for... Duckett's extremely... With Crowley, if they get going, watch out. And Pope's in great form as well. Joe Root, I mean, compare him to the top 4 of his time. Root versus Coley versus Kane Williamson, of course, and Smith. He's number 1. Root's got the most runs. Smith's still going well. Williamson's still there? Or is he still there? Well, it looks like he's still there. We've lost Coley earlier than he probably should. England 3-1, Paul, you reckon? Well, 3-2. I'll give it. Maybe with a draw, you might be right, 3-1. Thumb injury for Jofra. Gus Atkinson coming back from hamstring. Well, there you go. Munchie's our high performance report from Munchie. We need you, Munchie. Thumb injury for Jofra. Well, it sounds like he and Steve Smith should compare notes. He's got a finger injury. Gus Atkinson coming back from hamstring. He's vital. Well, is he a good bowler? There's Bumrah for Joe Root. Yeah, but Bumrah is not predicted to play all 5 tests, and that could be very concerning for India. Indeed. Cole between Juswell and Gill. Well, let's see how those two go. This is a significant partnership now. Gill, I mean, Rishabh Pant's there. My God, he could do anything. He's the Ian Botham or the Ben Stokes of India. He could still do anything. Well, love Rishabh Pant to death. He's my Adam Gilchrist from India. Watching Pant play is, to me, like fantastic. Karun Nair now. If he bats the well, where is Shami, Paul? I thought he was in the squad. I thought he was a chance in this match. He's a huge, significant factor as well. I'm not sure where he is at. When Joe Root has added determination to perform at his home ground. Well, it's not. Once he's added, when is he added? He's always had that, hasn't he? Joe Root, look at him. He's fast tracking himself to go past, of course, Alistair Cook, and he could well challenge the top 4. He could well go past Dravid and leave only, Ponting, Cullis, and clearly Tendulkar as the top 3. For Root to go to 4th position or above, that's a massive achievement. Smith may have a chance to do that, but I don't know whether he's still got enough time in his career. Coley's cut it short, and Williamson's probably not quite there either. Why is Harshit Rana included in the squad despite of bad performances in India? Well, they're probably saying something in him that we're not saying. He was pretty good in Australia, I thought. I'm doing well. Chandan Rajput, doing well indeed. So we're waiting for the lunch break to come. I decided to come at lunch, not pre-match. The pre-match was a bit of a anticlimax because we both knew what the sides were. We knew that England would basically go with the same top order with only the bowlers being in some doubt. But they've gone with Cass. Wokes is a good selection. We know he can do well. But Wokes alone is probably not the solution. A lot of emphasis on Ben Stokes. If Ben Stokes gets injured, who are they going to have to bowl? Root can certainly come on, but there's a bit of lack of bowling depth there. I think they're one bowler short, England, I'd argue. One bowler short. Well, I forgot to mention Shardul Thakur. He's probably a significant factor in this whole series. Could well become a match winner, and he's not to be underplayed. Never forget his efforts in Australia. Smudge enjoying his time in the US. Well, he's got enough money. He's probably worth north of 60 to 80 million, so it's not like he's suffering financially. And why not live in America? He can now. He's playing in America, and he's obviously still a Test player. I think he's residing in both countries at this stage. I'm very good, Rick Raj Vlogs. Now's the time to shoot for the stars, and so where can England? They've got two big series, one after the other, against India with 5 tests and then 5 tests against Australia. It'll give England a lot of great scope and practice here to do what they've done in this series, to then go on and perform well in Australia. That'll be a very big series. But Australia's going to counter with some very good new young batters coming. But I want Jason Sangha to be given a go and make their mind up between Green or Webster. They can't have both. Green's not an out-and-out batter. He's a very talented all-rounder. But if he's not bowling, he shouldn't be in the side rather than giving him a first-drop position and having failed twice in the World Test Championship final. It still annoys me greatly. India gave it away. I blame Rahul. He could have, but doesn't have it mentally. Oh, he does. He's a tremendous player. His experiences are valuable. Considering they've lost Kohli, Sharma, Ashwin, the whole host of players, and Rahane and Pujara, Rahul's the only one that's floating around that's got a great deal of experience in that batting lineup, even though Gill's there now, but he's still not quite there. Rahul's extremely important. He's like a captain in the back room there, I'd say. Very important player, very good player indeed. And okay, got out, and he's very upset with himself. As you can see in the replays here. Cass, who looks to me now more than a first, like a one-day bowler. I'm sorry, I'm not seeing him as a Test bowler. Tongue, not bad, but he's not up to Atkinson or Wood, Archer, and the big two, Broad and Anderson. We're forgetting those two. Losing Broad and Anderson's like the same impact that Kohli and Robert Sharma are probably going to have on India a bit. They're going to be a bit of a hole there for a while in their bowling line. They're so used to going to Broad and Anderson on a regular basis, one or both, so that's their problem. Ashwin versus Smudge, legendary battle and past, and the boat. Yeah, it's not going to happen anymore. Ashwin was he told? He was basically told by the Indian selectors, your days are numbered. Go out on your own terms, or we're going to get rid of you. Very sad. Honestly, he to me was, he was what, 8th in the bowling list and had a lot of years to go. And now Nathan Lyons beat him. Anyway, Sires and Necker, it should have been Karun Nair at 3. Well, I would accept that because Sires first test as number 3 is a pretty tall order to do that. He should have probably batted 5 or 6 and worked his way up. Karun Nair has that upper order experience and longevity, especially England. Yes, I do understand that point where perhaps Karun Nair should have been number 3. Agree. I still like I've forgotten his name now. The other bloke who's been running around, who to me looks incredible, but he gets booted every time. What's his name again? It'll come to me. It was dirty police from BCCI forcing Ashwin to retire. There's something behind that, I'm sure. God knows what happened in that political. All right, Safaraz. I love him. Can't. He is someone I reckon should be in the side too. That's a big mistake. Anyway, Ben Stokes is back on. We're about to get back to play. No way Green should bat number 3. I agree. Knight Rider, is cricket famous in Australia? Of course it is. Of course, it's extremely famous. It's famous as a Knight Rider. So we're going back to play now on the 26th over. Gill about to face his first ball. Look at he's played 33 Test matches for 1,893 runs, average of 35, which is certainly not outstanding. It's not bad. 750s and 500s. Now he's the captain of India. Now he's got to score runs to solidify not only his captaincy but his position overall, and show by example. Here he is facing Stokes. There's a lot of in and out going on. There's a fair bit of cut. Ben Stokes knows his wickets here. Of course, this is a famous ground for the time that when Ben Stokes batted beautifully in the last innings against Australia, one of the most incredible batting innings we've ever seen. It was with that spinner and hanging on at the end there. Magnificent performance. Okay, I think Australia should try McSweeney. No, I don't agree. No. No, I think McSweeney needs to wait a bit longer. Give Jason Sanger a go first. Season test retirement says we will. Kawaja and Smith will go at some stage. When, I don't know. But they'll go. Jack Leach. Good on him, Munchie. That's right. It was Jack Leach. I'm having a memory loss, getting old. Jack Leach batted with Ben Stokes that day when clearly Ben Stokes was like a champion on that day. It was a magnificent match. Ben Stokes looks particularly fit at the moment. Particularly fit. Very impressed with his appearance. Looks very refreshed. If you could almost argue that Ben Stokes looks younger. He certainly looks fitter. And there we are. Gill's got off the mark. Juswell, significant player. Significant player. You get him out, that could destabilise this batting line. Karun Nair, he's either in next or punt. We'll see. Should be Karun Nair in next. Punt should not bat that high unless they need him to. Inspirational as he is. All right. Jack Leach, thanks, Munchie. Munchie's been great. Munchie's given me a lot of information, which he's my little stats man there in the background, my high performance coach manager slash, medical report export. Oh, okay, we got Cass. Munchie, do you think he's overrated? Do you think he's more of a one-day bowler? Is he worthy of playing in tests? I'm not sold on him. Tongue looks pretty good, but on his own, I can't see him. High fat Norman, I beg your pardon. Cuddly, thank you very much. Ben Stokes is not following my diet. I'm certainly not following his diet. I'm eating everything that Ben Stokes is not eating. Munchie, what do you think of Cass? What do you think of Cass? Constance and Kawaja are opening. Yes. Yeah, this is Cass's first test in England. Yes, I know that. But isn't he really a one-day or a short format bowler? Brooke, Root, fantastic batters. Give him time. Why, Munchie? This is test match cricket. You don't give people time playing for the test match. Their time is before they get to test match. When you hit the deck playing test matches, you need to bowl well from day one. That's rubbish. I don't believe Justin. He performed well in New Zealand. Well, okay. I still don't think he's a test bowler. I think he's bowler one-day cricket. Rahul Singh. Kawaja's good spin player, but not fast. That's not true. I've given him one session. Munchie, it's my impression of what I see of him. I've seen enough of him from his short format career where he's suited to it. He just doesn't seem to be suited to the long version. That's my opinion. Okay. It was really sad Australia lost to it. I agree. World Test Championship. South Africa deserved to win on the day, but I don't think they deserved to win overall. I don't think they were the best team. They had 7 or 8 victories in a row, yes, but they played against pretty ordinary opposition. Yes, they played against the best in Australia, and they beat them, yes. Respect to be given. But were they the best overall? I don't think so. I'd argue Australia, India, and England were better than South Africa overall. That's my opinion. And why they didn't play Australia in the cycle is beyond me. They're playing them in this cycle, though. And I'm sure Australia will exact a lot of revenge when they play them, I think it's in South Africa, they'll exact a lot of revenge. So they'll come out seething when they play them again. Kanish also favoured South Africa? Not really. It favoured both teams. The timing of their 4th innings in total sunshine on a Lord's pitch on day 4, or 3 and 4, really suited England, South Africa. Well, they're using it, that lakeside. Cass has got that lakeside thing going there. Stokes got, of course, Sai there. The World Test Champ needs to be a 4-year cycle. Ensure they'll play all. I agree. So they got very lucky with the conditions in the end. They won the match. That's all they had to do. They won it fair and square. But are they long-term Test championships? Champions of many times? No. Australia's nailed 10 series in the World Cup arena. 10, if not more. Won all of them. I've not lost any of them. This is the first one they've lost. So, in all fairness, sunny weather in South Africa batting, whereas Australia, that's true, it's true. All right, guys. You want to go watch Ben Stokes? Looks bloody fit. Smith catch drop was a turning point, yes. and injuring himself too. Asinine. Sorry, the ball's falling short of slip, so be it. You don't play games with slip positions. Whether the ball's reaching or not, you've got to be in line with the keeper. Golden rule. And he puts someone too close, what happens? They drop it. Jansen, too close, dropped it. Smith damaged his finger because he was that close. Okay. Good night, Paul. I'm going to go watch the match now. Good night to you all. Well, thanks for your 35 minutes or so. We'll come back at some stage, maybe at the end of the day or if not tomorrow. Of course, India batting now. They're at some 2 for 98 with Jaswal on 42 and Gill on 6. Wokes is bowling, who is probably the most impressive of the England bowlers, other than, of course, Ben Stokes. So all the best, guys. Take care. Talk to you soon. Have a great afternoon.